live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Loungetime. I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today we've got some Week 12 action to cover. And we've got a lot of guarantees because it's Thanksgiving starting tomorrow. I'm doing this right now at about close to 11, but I don't mind it because guess what? I have this episode in time for the holidays. You can decide if you want to join on the guarantee. It's whatever you want to do. But I want you guys to enjoy your happy Thanksgiving with you and your families. And hey, have fun with football, family, kick back, enjoy the break. I'm enjoying my break from college at the moment right now. So I wanted to get this episode early. I'm happy I'm getting it early. But guys, I got to start off with something serious, okay? Because if you guys followed the Loungetime channel, you guys saw the latest episode I had out. We had somebody release a comment that, let's just say, I knew would happen one day, but let's just say it was a negative comment. I won't get into what the comment was. You can go on the channel and look it up. I laughed about it when I first saw it. I was like, okay, like, that's honestly not the worst thing I've heard. And honestly, like, how lame. You know what my answer was? And I'll make it short. I'm still producing episodes. I'm still controlling my own content. You can watch or you can stop watching. It's up to you. I'm not changing who I'm going to be. You're going to get the same me that is there for all my other Loungetime episodes. If I'm admitting I'm wrong on something, you guys will hear it first. Okay? He must have been a Chiefs bandwagon or a Daniel Jones supporter because that's the only two people I legit bashed. Because guess what? Really, you know, well, I didn't really bash I bashed a little bit of Daniel Jones, but I bashed my two friends that are Giants fans that are delusional and sound like Cowboy fans that Stephen A. Smith calls. That's really what I was saying. And the Chiefs bandwagons, you guys know I hate them. That will never change unless I publicly change my stance, which that's not happening. Okay? So if you're expecting me to be chilling on the Chiefs bandwagons or chill on my friends that are delusional Giants fans, Daniel Jones supporters, that's not changing. This face is not changing at all. You can watch or you don't have to watch. Either way, I'm still making content. Good publicity is, any publicity is good publicity, right? That's it. So, to that clown, I gave you your 15 seconds of fame. But guess what? I'm not changing who I'm going to be. All right? So, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming because you guys have been waiting to hear the recaps. And then we got to get into guarantees because there's a lot to get into that I want to cover. So, we're going to start with the overtime game of the Vikings and the Bears. And I'm going to make this kind of quick because I think I kind of know a little bit about... I know what I want to say about Chicago because I know you guys probably know what I've said about them. So really, this is more of Minnesota, right? And ever since they were the last unbeaten to go down... Actually, no, the Chiefs were. But one of the last unbeaten to go down. Sam Darnold's looked all right. He hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked amazing. He hasn't looked trash either. Well, the Jacksonville game would say otherwise. Maybe the Titans game. But I'm talking about this game. he played pretty good. He did take 3 sacks. Aaron Jones, 22 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown. They ran the ball pretty good, right? Jordan Addison went off. Hawkinson, thank you for going off for me in fantasy. Clutch. Got my win, 4th straight. 10-2. I'm in my playoffs, so let's go. Justin Jefferson, 2 for 27. The great players, give everybody some love and give those guys attention. Right? Hawkinson, Addison, Johnny Mutton, Jalen Naylor. Okay? All these guys, they get all the attention. Addison and Hawkinson carried that. Right? So, again, they had monster games. If you had them in fantasy, great. Jay Jetta, he didn't have a monster game. But again, when you're that great of a receiver, you're going to get attention. Vikings defense got 3 sacks. No takeaways, surprisingly. Or maybe they got 1 fumble recovery. But, again, I think that the Vikings, they've got some areas of concern. I would say I don't know what happened in the last. I'm going to actually pull up the time now on it because I was seeing the score. I'm like, oh, yeah, I expected this. Vikings to beat the Bears by about 2 scores, right? It was 27-16, right? And I'm going to pull up the time for you guys because I was kind of catching this. With 156, I'm thinking, all right, they're up 11. Nah, they got it. You didn't even recover an onside kick, and you gave up a touchdown and a field goal in 1 minute and 46 seconds. And you won because the Bears are the Bears. And Caleb Williams, he played pretty good. Like 32 of 47 for 340, 2 touchdowns. The running game didn't do great. But DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, they did solid. Really good performances. Odunze at 5 for 39. The O-line gave up, 3 sacks. Their defense, I mean, they got pressure on them. Didn't really get much takeaways. So, again, when I look at this game, really in a nutshell, the Bears, they had the magic too late, and then when they needed to score, they didn't. Minnesota did. Hawkinson stepped up for me big in overtime, actually. That was actually really clutch for that. 6 of 13 on 3rd down for Minnesota. Pretty good. Really good. Pretty good. 6 of 17 for Chicago. That's barely over 30%. Barely over 30%. But, yeah, that's not going well. Looking at, they went 2 for 3 on 4th down, right? Bears were perfect in the red zone. Minnesota, though, 3 for 7. 3 for 7 in the red zone. That's alarmingly bad. The Bears 7 penalties. Why am I surprised? This game might have put the nail in the coffin for the Bears. I don't think they're going to do anything special. I think they're going to get trounced tomorrow by the Lions. Yes, that's a sneak peek for the GUA-RAN-TEEs. I don't think that they're going to do anything special. I think I stand by this. I don't think they should have got rid of Justin Fields for Caleb Williams. I thought they had a really good thing with Justin Fields going, especially at the end of last season. But Ryan Poles, Eberflus, somebody's going to take the fall for this not going well. Because Caleb Williams has looked good at times. At the same time, though, look at some of the really rough games he had. The Texans, the Patriots game. I mean, I think he's going to be fine, but he's at best maybe the 3rd best quarterback in his own class right now. And this guy went number 1 overall. Now, I have confidence that his talent will make it better, but the Bears as an organization, as a coaching, I don't trust who they're going to put around him. Now, if you said Ben Johnson, nope, he should be fine. But the Bears organization are the Bears for a reason. I don't have a lot of optimism with them on that. Minnesota, on the other hand, I think they're going to be a good team in the playoffs. Do I think they can make a deep playoff run? I think the offense does have the potential to get to the second round. As far as getting to the NFC Championship game, when I look at Detroit, when I look at Philadelphia, I don't think Minnesota is better than any of those teams right now. I know Minnesota played Detroit wire to wire, but I don't think they're better than those two teams. No way. Atlanta, they're better than. I trust Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell over Raheem Morris and Kirk Cousins. I do. I don't even think they're better than Green Bay, who they're ahead of in the division. I don't. I think Jordan Love healthy would beat them. And then I look at the other teams in the NFC. I have questions about all of them. So they might be, at best case, the fourth best team in their conference. In the division, obviously, they're the third best. But they're going to still make the playoffs because they're a really, really good team. Right? But I don't think this team is good enough to... They can make the second round. I don't think they're NFC Championship worthy. I don't think they're NFC Championship worthy. I don't see it. Cowboys-Commanders. I watched the tail end of this game because I was looking for a fun game to watch, and I was not going to watch a game we're going to cover in a little bit. But I was watching a little bit of this game, and I got to say this. That ending was bizarre. That ending was absolutely bizarre. Cooper Rush finally turned back the clock. He actually looked pretty good this game. 24-32 for 247, 2 touchdowns. Didn't turn it over, surprisingly. Rico Dowdle actually almost had 100 yards, 19 for 86. Running game did all right, though. CeeDee Lamb, 10 for 67. Shoemaker had a touchdown. Jalen Brooks had a 41-yard grab. Jalen Tolbert had a touchdown. Yeah, right after I dropped you on my bench in fantasy. He wasn't going to start anyway with my team. But the Cowboys, in their weird way, they looked really sloppy, but yet the fourth quarter, everything like lightning in a bottle just clicked. And I'm like, what now? Like, they score with Tolbert. Washington goes down, scores. Kevontae Turpin gets the kickoff return, runs it back 99 yards for a touchdown. Washington gets stopped, but then they get the ball back. We all know what happens with the McLaurin play. Great play by McLaurin, but then the missed extra point. Then they get the onside and return it back. One of the most bizarre endings I've seen in NFL history. Like, that was bizarre how that all went down. Right? And it's funny because my cousin was telling me the Cowboys should tank. I thought they were going to tank. Here's the problem, though. If you did tank, who's taking on Dak Prescott's $60 million contract? And who are you picking up? Travis Hunter? You weren't going to get to him at 5. Let alone you're not even getting in the top 3 for him. Well, now with this win, that about seals it. The defense had 4 sacks. Parsons had 2 of them. Overshawn had 1. Josh Butler had 1. Their defense had 2 takeaways. They are very suspect, this defense. And every time I think that they're not going to win a game, most of the time they don't win, but their defense is bad. Almost sold them the game. They got bailed by a missed extra point. They should not have won this game in a way, but they did. Now, they're not doing anything. So Cowboy fans, don't get your hopes up. You're not doing anything this season. The real ones get it. Mike McCarthy's going to get fired, but now I'm hearing in a radio interview that Jerry Jones says he's open to extending Mike McCarthy, which for my extended family, I really hope that doesn't happen for them. It would be great comedy relief on this show if that were to happen, because if that were to happen, I am getting my family, friends that are Cowboy fans, my extended family, and we're getting the all cousins hopefully soon, to see if that happens, what their reaction would be. I would hysterically laugh in that if that happens, because I'm gonna reveal a little bit of some things that were funny. Okay, so one of my family members is like, "Well, we're gonna get Bill Belichick right after they lost to Green Bay." I'm like, "Yeah, you sure about that?" Jerry's not firing McCarthy. He didn't fire McCarthy. And I said to him, I said, "What makes you think that Jerry's gonna take Belichick? You do know Jerry needs to be the man that deserves credit. And if Bill were to sign with Dallas, Bill would get all the credit if that team had the success that they had in the 90s. Bill would get all the credit, Jerry. You wouldn't. Which means, if we're playing the Jerry Jones equation, Jerry Jones will not hire a coach that will get more of the lion's share of the credit. That will go to Belichick if Belichick signed. Jerry needs to hire a coach to be somebody that sucks, so that way Jerry can get the credit. Here's the problem, Jerry. What is that translated for you? Nothing. It's translated to nothing. It is stubbornness. It is arrogance. It is pride at the highest level. And I said to my cousin, I said to my uncle, you guys are not going to do anything. You are the Raiders of the NFC, attracted to superstars, allergic to building a team culture. That's why these coaches keep constantly, you guys want to be done with them every 3 years. They keep constantly coming and going. Dave Campo, you had Parcells for a little bit, Chan Gailey, Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett was there too long, Mike McCarthy's now there too long. You know why? Because Jerry Jones needs a coach to be a puppet to win a Super Bowl. Here's the thing, Jerry. That team you won was Jimmy's team. I could have coached that team, my dad would say. My dad could have coached that team. They still would have won. That was Jimmy's team. That wasn't Barry Switzer's team. Because Barry Switzer got fired within 3 years. Okay? So, Jerry, this puppet coach thing, give it up. Because you're not going to win. And if you keep going down this way, you're not going to win a Super Bowl till you die. You're not. Okay? And the delusional Cowboy fans that think he's going to, well, delusional derangement syndrome. That's what you guys are going through. And I want no part of it. I'm a realist, so I'll tell you how it is. For the Washington side of things, Jaden Daniels, 25 of 38, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 275 yards. He's hit some wall since the tough stretch. They've lost 3 straight, and this is where their little tough stretch started to happen. But this game you had to win. This game was a game you had to win. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, okay. Those are good teams. Right? This, you should have beat them. This is the loss you're going to be like, what happened here? And everybody goes through it, I know, but this is not a good sign. Because if you're struggling to beat Dallas, you should beat Tennessee next week. You should beat New Orleans. You should beat Dallas again. This is concerning. Now, he had a rushing touchdown on 7 carries for 74 yards. McLaurin had the 186-yard touchdown. I know. Zach Ertz had a touchdown. Noah Brown had 71 yards on 6 catches. I know. The defense, though, they played bad too. 1 sack, 34. Really, they gave up over 20 points. Okay. This team. Now, I got a homeboy of mine that's a Commanders fan. Okay. He's celebrating his West Virginia beating my Zags. And don't get me started on that game. I'm not ready to talk college basketball right now. I'm in a really bad mood from that game. Okay. Not a really bad mood, but I'm letting him enjoy his little Atlantis tournament win. Okay. But Washington, he told me, might be frauds. They can't beat good teams. And realistically, they've beaten one team that's above 500. And that was Arizona before Arizona got on a winning streak. But at the time going into a game, they have not beaten a team that's 500 or better. Which is concerning because if you do end up as that last wild card spot, you're going to have to figure out that next step for Jaden Daniels. I think the kid is going to be really good. What he's done to that team in 1 year is remarkably impressive, okay? They have to build a roster around him, which I think Quinn and Peters are heading in the right direction. That defense needs work. They'll get that fixed. Offensively, I love Kingsbury and Daniels' dynamic. I think that's going to be good. But there's some areas of concern that he needs to build on, okay? Dallas somehow won this game going 2 of 11 on third down. Washington was 4 of 12. Both teams did not convert on third down well. Washington turned it over 3 times. 8 penalties. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. That fourth quarter, abomination. Dallas went 2 for 3 in the red zone, 4 penalties, 1 turnover. Again, that's pretty good. But 3 turnovers, 8 penalties for Washington. That's what did you in. And that's what got you in trouble. So they got to figure out this funk. Not a lot of close games this week, but there's one I didn't believe was going to be close. I had a little thought that was whispering in my ear. Rich, this game might be closer than you think. What? How? This is the worst team in football, projectedly, the worst roster in football, going into this year. And they're going to play tough with the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions? Really? I would have been like, no. But although the way they looked, I would have been like, that could happen. Would I expect it to happen? No. But they almost pulled through. Now, you bandwagons. Yes, I'm going to still go at you. I don't care. The cracks are showing. I love it. The cracks are showing. You guys get every lucky break in the world, except last week with Buffalo, except that game in Buffalo. You should have lost a couple of other games too, which I said last week. I'm saying that I'm going to be a little lighter this time. But you guys look frauds. You guys look not so good. You barely beat Carolina on the road. You barely beat this team. Yet, let's go through the numbers. Mahomes was 27 of 37 for 269, 3 touchdowns. He had the 33-yard scramble. Oh, did you see Richie scrambled? See, he's fast. Fuck out of here. No. He's not fast. Stop. I'm not going. No. Okay. Kareem Hunt, 16 carries, 68 yards. Okay. Noah Gray had 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 66 yards. Kelsey, 6 for 62. You should do this against the Panthers. You should. 4 for 46 for Worthy. Here is what I did not expect at all in this game. Their offensive line gave up 5 sacks for almost 50 yards. 5 sacks. Hopkins had a receiving touchdown too. I forgot to add that as well. So you mean to tell me the Carolina Panthers sacked Mahomes 5 times? Here's the thing I want to know. How does this great defense allow 27 points to the Panthers? How does that happen? Huh? Well, what's this excuse now? Oh, well, we're going to get Charles Omenihu back. We're going to get Pacheco back. We're going to be fine. No. We're not going to do this. We're not going to start doing excuses. I'm shutting all of them down. Okay? Guys, that defense that everybody kept telling me, they're a top 5 defense. They're a top defense in the league. Whoa, wait a minute now. Why have they given up 30 to Buffalo last game? 27 to Carolina. They gave up 24 to Tampa before overtime. What's going on there now? What's going on with this defense, guys? This is not the Chiefs defense that everybody kept saying, oh, this is a top 5 defense. Oh, no. Something's leaky. Your O-line gave up 5 sacks. They got two on Bryce Young, okay? But they didn't get any takeaways. So the cracks are showing. You're looking very, very leaky. You're not looking good. And guess what? I know your schedule. I know you're playing after the Raiders on Black Friday. I know who you're playing. The Chargers, please. You should beat them in Arrowhead. I like what Jim Harbaugh is doing. You should beat them. You got at Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. That ain't no gimme. You should beat Russell Wilson. That offense is putrid. Apparently everybody's calling the Steelers frauds. The Texans, who I like. C.J. Stroud's going through a slump right now. He's got to get his act together, and I like the guy. I mean, if you can't beat them while they're slumping, you in deep trouble. But misery loves company, and that's gonna be me enjoying your misery when you lose to them. I may have a special guest that day. We're working the deal out, okay? And then you got to go to Denver. Last game of the year. Denver's gonna need it for a playoff spot. Okay. You guys are going to need it for a potential 1-seed/bye for that Mahomes Invitational shit to be still effective. Here's the thing, though. That schedule, you're not getting the bye. You're not. You're not getting that bye. You know why? Because Buffalo's going to play their gauntlet now. Pittsburgh's going to be fine. Their defense will keep them in games. They need their offense to get together. Okay? They'll be okay. But you bandwagons, even if you get that 1 seed, you don't look any bit like the team you were the last 2 seasons. And I know everybody's going to say, well, Rich, you said the Bengals were going to beat them in 22. They didn't win. Okay? And you didn't say shit after the Eagles Super Bowl. I didn't. Because we all saw what happened. You said the same thing last year that Buffalo and the Ravens were going to beat them. And what happened? The Niners were going to beat them in the Super Bowl. What happened? We won anyway. Kyle Shanahan blew it. But we all know Steve Wilkes was not a good coordinator for that Niners team. We all knew it. And I'm not lining up excuses. I'm telling you what we saw. Okay? Okay? This year, you are a fraudulent 10-1 team. I'm telling you. Guys, they remind me of the 2019 Patriots. I'm telling you. They don't look good. They're edging out games that they're not really deserving to win. And it's all going to come crumbling down. And I can't wait for the one team I know that's going to take them down. And again, I think realistically, they're not going to get to the AFC Championship game. I think they're going to go down in the divisional round. You know why? Because I'm looking at teams right now. I'm looking at how good Buffalo's playing. They had their bye week, but they got a really tough schedule coming up. San Francisco does not look good. We'll get to them in a little bit. They played Detroit, which I think that's going to be a Super Bowl preview. The Bills and the Lions. Because those two teams right now are on a collision course to meet each other. Do not get me started on the Baltimore Ravens. They're absolute frauds. Their defense sucks. And as good as their offense is, Lamar sucks against elite teams in big games. And I still think the Chiefs are an elite team despite what anybody says. I like the Texans. I think they got to get some stuff sorted out. They need to really lock in and play much better. I don't like what I'm seeing from them. Okay? Now, Pittsburgh, I think the defense can keep them in a game. But Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in, since 2016. And we're on 2024, so that's 8 years he hasn't won a playoff game. 8 years is a long time. That offense needs to get figured out if they're gonna break that year drought. Okay? And then don't tell me anything about Miami. They're not doing shit. They can't beat elite teams. Don't tell me about the Colts with Anthony Richardson. I don't want to hear that. I like the Chargers. They're not going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. Denver, Bo Nix. Oh, but Bo Nix almost beat them. Yeah, they still lost. Guarantee in the playoffs, Bo Nix is not going to do it. And if Bo Nix ever beat Mahomes, I would absolutely troll the fucking bandwagons to ad nauseum like there's no tomorrow. So let me say this. You bandwagons, you are going to get it. You're going to lose in the divisional round. The cracks are showing. You're frauds. You're not doing shit. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, you guys are not that good. You guys are not that good. You are going to get exposed. And the day is coming when this show, I am going to celebrate your downfall. Okay? Just like everybody celebrated when Tom Brady and the Patriots lost, and I had to see through it. It's my turn to give it to you when you lose. My day will happen. It's not happening 3 years in a row. It's not happening. The NFL can figure out its way with Taylor Swift getting back to another Super Bowl. You can figure out a way all you want. At the end of the day, you're winning games that you're not supposed to win, and the day is going to happen. The Bills showed it. Carolina almost pulled it out. I don't think the Raiders are going to beat them. I'm not getting my hopes up. That team is absolutely garbage. They're in the tanking sweepstakes. The bandwagons, I'm telling you, wait till you hit that fucking tough stretch. You are going to lose in the playoffs. You are going to lose. Trust the head of the snake, Nick Wright. Please do. I can give two shits about him. The dude has a fucking Big Bird Sesame Street nose. Okay? I don't care about him. He's not going to tell you what you need to hear. That dude is a clown. Literally, how that dude keeps appearing on my X feeds is annoying as hell. I need him off my X feeds. I don't want him. He's poisonous snake. I don't want him. Okay? You can go join him and believe your false delusions. This show's going to do what I always do. Your day's going to happen. And I'm going to get my number one fan here. I had him already on here. And you're going to deal with the insufferable fucking celebration that we're going to have lined up. You thought when I celebrated when Joe Burrow was worse. I'm waiting. I've already got props ready since last year when I thought they were going to lose to the Bills in the divisional round. Okay? And for what I'm saying, it's going to be funny. I'm going to be a national meme when it happens. I know it. Okay? But you bandwagons, enjoy your leaky wins now. But at the end of the day, we know your day's coming. And I'm going to get the last laugh, and I'm going to be so happy when they're eliminated. And it's going to be the fucking happiest I've ever done Loungetime in a long while. Okay? I'm happy now when I do it. Believe me, there's days where I hate doing it. But I do it for the people, and I love it. I'm not going really into Carolina stats because, A, Carolina's in the taking sweepstakes. Okay? There's teams where I'm to the level of I won't talk about them anymore, including my New England Patriots. I'm done talking about them. I was going to talk about the Titans-Texans game, but realistically, I'm not going to really talk about them that much because I kind of outlined it already. Their defense is not looking great. Stroud took a safety in the end zone. They've got some problems that they've got to sort out. What we do have to talk about, though, is Saquon Barkley's performance because this is too good to not pass up, okay? And I know I've got friends I see in college that are Eagles fans that are probably watching right now. And listen, they're like, well, what if Saquon Barkley breaks Eric Dickerson's record? That's going to make the Giants look real bad. We're going to get to that right now because I want to talk about the Rams too a little bit, okay? The Eagles. Let's talk about them first. I watched this game. I picked the Rams to win. And my friends are probably like, see, Rich, when you pick against the Eagles, things go wrong. Did I not pick Tampa Bay to win? How did that go? That went well. And what did I say after? You have a favorable schedule. I picked you against Washington. I picked you against the Bengals. I picked you against a lot of teams. I'm allowed to pick against the Eagles. So my friends would say to me, they're Eagles fans, and they want to rub their nose in every time that I pick against them and they still win. Okay. But I can't pick them every game. A, I'm a fucking Patriot fan. B, I am allowed to not pick the Eagles once in a while. If I think they're going to lose, I think they're going to lose. Okay? So, ease off, guys. I tried an upset. It didn't work. You win some, you lose some. Okay? But let's get to the game. All right? Now, Saquon Barkley's having a monster season. The last couple of games, he has gone absolutely haywire. I'm glad Kellen Moore finally decided to learn to run the football. Maybe it's Nick Sirianni telling him to run the ball. I don't know, because I can't tell with his antics if he's trying to actually win games or if he's trying to lose games. But I'm going to get to him in a minute. But Saquon Barkley, this dude has almost 1,400 yards, and they've played 11 games. He's got 6 more games to go. And guess what? He's about 1,400, right? So he's at 1,396, I want to say. I don't know the exact number. I know he's at let's just say he's at 1,400, okay? He needs 700 yards plus. Let's say this. He needs 710 to break the record, right? Approximately. In 6 games. Doable. It's actually doable. Do I think it will happen? No. Because I just think at the end of the day, I think teams are like, that man's trying to break the rushing record. We got to key on him. Okay? Now, Derrick Henry, that's also another guy. I don't think he's going to break Dickerson's record either. But, again, I think it's a lot to ask of Saquon. It's a lot to ask. Now, Derrick Henry's at 1325. All right? He's definitely not breaking Dickerson's record. He's definitely not. And I have Henry on my fantasy team. Saquon Barkley has a chance to do this. Would I like to see it happen in my lifetime? Yeah, I would. Especially in a passing league. Now, this goes to my next point. Should he be the MVP frontrunner at this moment? You know what my answer is? No. Because I think, I've said this before, the man is the best player in the Eagles right now. Better than Jalen Hurts, better than A.J. Brown. Yes, I'm saying it. I said he's the best player on this Eagles team this season. There's no denying that, okay? Especially with how he's played lately. But the MVP of your team, I know it's been a quarterback award. Yes, I know. But this Eagles offense last couple of seasons has made the Super Bowl without him. And they went to the playoffs last year without him. I get it. People are going to say, well, they lost first round, which they declined last year. I know they lost the Super Bowl, but they still won without him. And that's with A.J. Brown. That's with Devontae Smith. That's with Goddard. That's with Hurts quarterbacking. Okay? That's with a lot of their core offensive linemen. Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson. Okay? Now, was he the missing piece for them that they needed last year? Yes, but they still had success. So I can't say he's the most valuable player. Okay? If you take him away, I think they're a playoff team still. I do. But I don't think they're as good as they are now, record-wise, but I don't think that they're like falling off completely off the face of the earth. No. I don't think that. Okay? What I will say is that right now, in my opinion, Josh Allen should be the front runner. He beat the Chiefs at Buffalo, and he had the game-winning touchdown, and he's been really good as far as taking care of the turnovers, and he's basically been the reason his team's won games. And he's got the narrative going for him as well, because Stephon Diggs had acted like a diva and being annoying, and they were like, no, we're done with you. And he's doing this with Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid, Curtis Samuel, like guys that are not as good as what he's used to have. And he's still winning 9 games. That is still remarkable. Okay? Considering how they were looking last year, around this time last year. Like, guys, this was my biggest question mark, and he's answering it for right now. Like, it's Josh Allen. It's Lamar. I want to say Jared Goff, but Jared Goff had that 5-pick game against Houston, yet he still led his team down the field. And then I would put Saquon. I think Saquon's closing in on 3, but I don't know, because I still think there's other guys that have made a strong case to make a run at MVP, and I'm thinking right now who I would put in that conversation, right? because I think at the end of the day, it's definitely Lamar and Josh Allen, and then I would put Saquon debatably 3. But I have to put Jared Goff there because Jared Goff has been a guy that even when he played bad, he still led his team down the field to a game-winning field goal. That matters. Okay? So, I think Saquon's got a real strong case to be 3. Now, if he does break Dickerson's record, is he going to be in the conversation? Yeah, he's going to be. But to say he's at the forefront of the MVP favorite after a 2-game stretch, really after this crazy game he had, I wanted to give this context before I started to say like my stance. What I just said means no. I definitely don't think he should. He should definitely be the Offensive Player of the Year frontrunner. I will give people that. And I have King Henry in fantasy. And I'm saying this. But not the MVP yet. No, not yet. Because again, the Eagles are not the 1 seed. Okay? They're not the 1 seed. They're the 2 seed. Okay? But also, this team made the playoffs. This team made the Super Bowl without him. A lot of their core guys are still there. He's been the missing piece this season for them to get them to be really good this year. Yes. But they were really good without him. They just collapsed last year towards the end, which really, look at the change of coordinators that they've had. That's also helped. And they made the Super Bowl 2 years before. So, I say, no, he should not be the MVP favorite. Because if you take away Lamar, or if you take away Josh Allen, if you take away Jared Goff, are any of those teams the records that they're at now? I definitely don't think Buffalo's that way without Josh Allen. I definitely don't think the Ravens are as good without Lamar. Jared Goff, they might not be 10-1, but they're definitely maybe above average. Maybe fighting to be at 500. Okay? That's a fair argument. So, again, the Eagles without Saquon Barkley are still a playoff team. They're just not 9-2 good. Okay? So, my point is, let's pump the brakes on the MVP talk. The guy's having a great year. I wanted to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record, even though I love Eric Dickerson from when I had him in Madden. I love this Madden 20 card. That was literally, oh my God, great memories. If you guys want, I'll share it another day. I'm not going to do it today, though. But they looked really good offensively. A.J. Brown had a touchdown. Jalen Hurts did what he had to do. The defense got after Matt Stafford. I've never seen the Rams offense look that bad. They look bad. Cooper Kupp got me a garbage time touchdown. That was clutch. But the Eagles, man, hey, they look really good. I don't think they're the favorite in the NFC, though. I can't be biased. They're not the favorite in the NFC. And I don't think they would beat Detroit. I don't think they would. Sirianni would get outcoached by Dan Campbell. He would. All right? The talent will help narrow the gap, and they're pretty good. No way. No way. Yeah, that defense, they look really good. They had the fumble recovery to start the game. They got 5 sacks on them, right? And 9 of 15 on third down is great. Okay, they had almost 500 total yards on the Rams, which leads into what I'm going to say. And this team went 2 for 5 in the red zone, which is not really that great. So let's get into the Rams because, look, there's some serious questions, right? Offensively, this was a bad game, right? I don't think they're going to play this bad often, all right? Kupp, Nakua, Kyron, Stafford, they're going to be fine. They're going to score points. The question is, are you going to be able to stop teams? Okay? And that's where I'm getting nervous. Versus a good rookie. They had the other kid too. That from Florida State. He's playing good. But that front seven got torched. Okay? And if you're getting torched that bad, that's a huge concern for me. If this team's going to go anywhere to where they need to go. This team, I love as a scoring team. They're going to put points up defensively. I'm concerned. I was going to pick them before the year if Aaron Donald did not retire, but he did. And I get it. The league goes on. But this defense, back-end wise, concerning. their front four, they can get after the quarterback, but they can't stop the run now. That's concerning. Especially if you're playing teams like Detroit, which they played right down to the wire twice in the last year. They've lost both times, though. Okay? But Minnesota, they beat Minnesota already. Green Bay beat them already. This team I don't rule out yet. I think Sean McVay can figure this out, but that defense needs to get fixed really, really quickly. They got a good chance with New Orleans, so I don't like what I'm seeing defensively. Offensively, I think they'll be fine. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to talk about the Ravens-Chargers because this was a game where it was a good game. It was. But the Chargers, I thought they played Lamar really good for the first couple of quarters. And then the fourth quarter, they let him get out. And Herbert and that offense struggled to move the ball. And Lamar made some big plays. But John Harbaugh going to 3-0 against his brother Jim. Damn, that's tough. That's tough for Jim. But the man got a national championship. So at least, hey, he's got that. But, man, that's tough. But the Ravens offensively, like I said, they're another team. They can score. They can run the ball. They've got a good passing game. However, I don't think this team defensively is still good. I still think there's some questions that they're going to get exposed by the right team. I think if you give them a team like a good team that knows how to move the ball, knows not to make mistakes, knows the weaknesses within that team, I do think they're going to beat them. I think Kansas City would beat them, even though I think they're looking shaky. The Bills, if it were in Buffalo, I think they would beat them. Right? I know they lost in Baltimore week 4. I know. Didn't go well for me. But, again, I feel like that they will get, and then the Steelers have their numbers. So they're going to be a second-round team, potentially, but I still think they have some serious question marks. So, again, do not think that they can score. But if you give them a good defense, if you give them a team that knows how to play ball control, smart football, and makes the analytics go against Jim Harbaugh, yeah, he's going to get exposed. All right. We're going to go into Week 13 because we have a lot of guarantees to go over, and I have a lot of action. Plus, I want to give you guys the lineup that we're going to do. So we're going to go over the DraftKings odds because I like their odds better, personally. And ESPN bet, I don't know. Changes too much for me. But we're going to start off with the Thanksgiving game starting tomorrow at 12:30. The Bears and the Lions. Lions are 9.5-point favorites. Over and under is listed at 48. Over. Lions will score, and Chicago will get some points in there. But I think that Chicago will get some garbage time points. I do think the Lions do score it still. I don't think the Bears are all what people think. Matt Eberflus is a shit coach. I think their division is going to basically be, they're out of it, I think, already. Even if the Lions beat the Bears, I think they're out. I'm saying the Bears will be out of the division, to clarify. But I'm going with the Lions to win. I think this will go over. 31-21. Chicago's going to get a couple late garbage time touchdowns. Watch. I think the Lions control this game. I think that they'll get at least 30, 31. But I don't think that I don't think they're going to do much, Chicago, to make this interesting. The Lions control this game. Give me 31-21. Lions over the Bears. And take the over. I like that for Thanksgiving for sure. Giants-Cowboys. Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites. Over and unders at 37.5. This is a snooze fest. I'm personally not sure if I'm going to watch this. This is a horrible game. Okay? Drew Lock against Cooper Rush. You ready for this, America? Give me the Giants plus 3.5. Yes, I'm going bold. I'm not guaranteeing it, but give me 3.5. I'm taking the Giants to win. You know why? Because everybody thinks they're going to tank. Dallas coming off a big win against Washington. But before that, they were not looking that great. And the Giants look horrible. I get it. But Cooper Rush, something tells me this game, the Giants defense is going to show up. The Cowboys are going to get exposed. The last time the Cowboys won on Thanksgiving, man, I mean, last year, like, I know they played, and why is the team escaping me right now? Because I know they played somebody on Thanksgiving. I don't think they won last year, too, right? But I don't think they're going to be all that. I don't. Oh, no, wait. Maybe they did win on Thanksgiving last year. But that's when they were good. But when they're usually not good, they don't win. Drew Lock, I don't think he's bad, but I think he could definitely make the Cowboys frustrated. And I don't like the Cowboys' defense. You ready? Right at the number, 20-17, Giants beat the Cowboys. I'm going with the Giants to beat them. And yes, you're not tanking. This is one of those games I said you're going to win. So, yep. Give me the Giants plus 3.5. I'm not taking it as a guarantee though. But I like them to win. Dolphins, Packers. Packers are 3.5 point favorites. Over and under is listed at 47.5. I know I'm taking for this. Green Bay. Guarantee. This is one of my best plays. Miami is so fucking fraudulent, bro. They beat up on shit teams. Vegas, New England. Please. Please. Didn't they beat the Colts? Or did the Colts beat them? No, the Colts beat them. Okay. This team is not good, guys. Don't let the record fool you. They can't beat an elite team for shit. Jordan Love is going to light this defense up. Oh, but Rich, they're top 10 in categories. Yeah, you played shit teams last few weeks. Wait till you play the big boys. How'd you do against Buffalo twice? Oh, not good. Okay. So you didn't do that great. So, I am going with the Packers to win. I trust Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur. They know each other. LaFleur and McDaniel, they used to be on the same staff. I think the Packers get 27. And I think Miami's going to get 23. But I still think Green Bay, guarantee, wins. Right at the point spread number, barely goes over. 27-23, Packers beat the Dolphins. Black Friday, Raiders at the Chiefs. Chiefs are 13-point favorites. Gardner Minshew is out for the season with a broken collarbone. So he's done. Over and under is listed at 42.5. People are going to tell me, Rich, the Raiders beat the Chiefs last year on Christmas Day in Arrowhead. No. That's not happening again. It's not happening. The Raiders are garbage. This team is tanking for real. This team is legit trying to tank. They could put Aiden O'Connell in. He's not beating Mahomes again. If this is the case, I'm making fun of the bandwagons for losing to Aiden O'Connell like they would when the Saints beat Brady with the Bucs. That's what I'm going to start doing. But the bandwagons are going to win. They're going to get 26. I think the Raiders get 10. They get 10. They ain't doing nothing. This might be an under if you want. I would take the under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring. I mean, I got 26-10 Chiefs over the Raiders. Now we're going to Sunday's games. Texans at the Jaguars. Texans are 4-point favorites on the road at Jacksonville. Over and under is listed at 44. Over. I think both teams score. I do. I think the Jaguars' defense is god-awful. I don't like the way the Texans look defensively as well. I would take the over. I think C.J. Stroud and company are going to win, but I think they're going to win. See, my prediction was right around the number the Titans beat the Texans last week too. But I think it's going to be 35-31. This is a shootout. Lawrence and Stroud put on a show. C.J. Stroud outduels Lawrence. 35-31 Texans. This is a high-scoring game. I think both teams go off. Seahawks take on the Jets. Seahawks are 2-point favorites. Over and under is at 42. You expect me to pick the Jets against Seattle? Yeah, no. Nope. Seattle wins. Geno gets back at his former New York team again. Might be a little closer than the experts say. Give me Seattle can get 24. 24-20 over the Jets. I'm actually going to take Seattle to cover, but it's not a guarantee. But Seattle to win 24-20 over the Jets. Titans, Commanders. Commanders are 5.5-point favorites to the Titans. Over and under is listed at 44.5. Over as well. I like this. I think that this game barely goes over. But I think that the Commanders win. I'm going to go this one. This one might be... I think this is going to go 28-23. This is going to be closer than the experts say. I don't think that the Commanders cover. If the number moves to 5, I would like it. But I'm going to go 28-23 Commanders over the Titans. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think. It's going to go over, but I really like it if it's 5. 5.5, a little weary. Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals are 3-point favorites to the Steelers. Over and unders at 47.5. Ooh. Cincinnati needs this game. But I can't trust that defense. But at the same time, I don't trust Pittsburgh's offense. So, what do I trust more? I'm going to take the 3 with Pittsburgh again. I don't like this, but I'm going to... Again, this is not a guarantee either. I'm taking the Steelers to win. I don't trust the Bengals defense. I know people are going to say their offense is going to be... Tomlin's going to find a way to get that team ready. Something just doesn't seem right with Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's having a great season. Yet, their defense sucks. I think this game is going to be 28-24. Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati. I just think it's going to be one of those games where both teams will score, but somehow, some way, the Steelers find a way to win and they beat the Bengals, and I just don't trust that Bengals defense. I like Lou Anarumo, I do. This is a bad defense this year. Cardinals taking on the Vikings. Vikings are 3.5-point favorites. Over and unders at 45. Am I crazy? Or am I going to take an upset? Matty, yes, you're a fake Cardinals fan, so don't get excited when I say this. I'm going with the upset. This is a team that's playing good ball. They just lost a bad game to Seattle. I know. In Seattle, I get it. The Vikings look shaky. They do. And I think Kyler can do enough to outscore Minnesota. I think Darnold's playing good. I don't think he outdoes Kyler. Give me the Cardinals with the 3.5, and I think this game's going to go over. This one, another one. I've got this 30-27. Cardinals beat the Vikings. Chargers taking on Atlanta. It's a pick'em game. Chargers right now are 1-point favorites, but it's a pick'em. 47.5 is the over and under. In Jim Harbaugh, I trust. I trust them over the Falcons. I don't think Atlanta is as good as people think. Okay? I like the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert and company, they're going to bounce back off this loss. I think they're going to run on Atlanta, and I think that if they don't give the ball to Quentin Johnston, they'll be fine. But, again, I have the utmost confidence in this team, and I think that the Chargers pull it out. I think they're going to win 24-13 over Atlanta. I am not sold on Atlanta at all. But I think the Chargers defense limits Kirk Cousins. I don't think the same goes over. 24-13, Chargers beat Atlanta. Colts taking on the Patriots. Colts are 2.5-point favorites in New England. Over and under is listed at 42.5. I love watching Drake May. I do. I'm not watching. I can't no more. I'm done. That Miami game broke me. I'm going to take the Colts reluctantly. I wish I could feel good about taking New England. I wish I can, but I don't. Their defense is bad. Gerard Mayo just keeps looking worse and worse with his sayings. The fans are calling for his job, especially if they don't look competitive over these last few weeks. I'm going to take the Colts to win 20-10 because I have no doubt that we're going to find a way to lose. We're going to find a way to lose. 20-10 Colts over New England. Bucks at Panthers. Bucks are 5.5-point favorites in Carolina. Over and unders at 46.5. I like Tampa to win. Evans is back. That offense was clicking. And I think the Bucks are on a serious push to make the playoffs because the NFC is looking very, very shaky. And I think they will come back and win the division still. I do. Carolina may have looked good against the Giants and Kansas City, and I think they're trending right. I don't think they beat Tampa. Give me Tampa Bay 34-23 over Carolina to win. Rams taking on the Saints. Rams are 2.5-point favorites in New Orleans. Over and unders at 49.5. New Orleans has been winning with this interim coach, Darren Rizzi. I still trust Sean McVay. I still do. And I think that the Rams could score. I think they definitely get 31. The Saints, they're going to get 23, though. Give me the Rams 31-23 over the Saints. Eagles in Baltimore. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. Over and under is listed at 50.5. Over. Both teams are going to score. I don't think Saquon has a great game against this team because the Ravens are good against the run. The pass, that's a different story. This is why I'm taking over. I'm going to take the Ravens to win. And yes, I'm picking against the Eagles again. I have friends that are Eagles fans watching. I'm doing it again. All right? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, we go from there. I'm doing it again. Lamar and company, they beat the Eagles. I just think that the Eagles, Sirianni, this is a game I could see him blowing. They've been on a winning streak. I think they need a game where Sirianni is just, he's going to blow it. And this game smells like he's going to blow it. This one goes over. I think the Ravens will get 30 points. 30-23. Ravens beat the Eagles. Niners in Buffalo. Bills are 7-point favorites. Over and under is at 44.5. That's a lot of points. If Purdy doesn't play, I get the point spread. San Francisco looks bad. The injuries are catching up to them. I still just can't trust them anymore this year. Buffalo, I think, is on a push for the 1 seed. Here's what scares me. They're off the bye. They got at Detroit the next week. Are they looking past San Francisco for Detroit? I'm a little weary about this game. I want to take the Niners plus 7. I don't like this, that it's 7 points. I'm going to take the Niners plus 7. However, I think the Bills win, but it's close. 23-20, Bills edge out the Niners on a game-winning field goal. The line smells. Even if they have a backup, I think the Bills are looking past the Niners to play Detroit. That's what my gut feeling says, especially if Purdy doesn't play. Browns taking on the Broncos in Denver. The Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. Over and under is listed at 41.5. Under, snooze fest all day long. 17-10 Broncos beat the Browns. Jameis Winston is not doing it again. The Denver defense will expose him. I have Denver defense in fantasy. Bo Nix, they're going to be okay. I think Cleveland keeps him in check. I don't think that they're going to be all that. So, that's my picks. Now, let's go to the guarantees in general because I want to go over what I have. So, let's go over my guarantees. The Detroit Lions are going to beat the Chicago Bears, and the game will go over 48 points. I'm not going to do the Giants-Cowboys as a guarantee. The Green Bay Packers are going to beat the Miami Dolphins. The Arizona Cardinals are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to take the Ravens to beat the Eagles as a guarantee. And the Denver Broncos beat the Cleveland Browns. And the Eagles-Ravens are going to go over 50.5 points. So are the Rams and Saints, over 49.5. They're going to go over. So I'll do it again because I want to do it all in rhythm better. So the Detroit Lions are going to beat the Chicago Bears, and the game will go over 48. The Green Bay Packers are going to beat the Miami Dolphins. The Arizona Cardinals are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings and will go over 45 points total. The Rams are going to beat the New Orleans Saints, and they're going to go over 49.5, Rams and Saints. The Baltimore Ravens are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and the game will go over 50.5 points. And the Denver Broncos are going to beat the Cleveland Browns. Guarantee! Woo! Charles Barkley style, we're doing guarantees. All right? So those are my guarantees for Thanksgiving weekend. Guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. Enjoy the break. You guys pick out as much food as you want. Enjoy the football. Relax. Kick back. Kick off your feet. If you are working Thanksgiving, hopefully the day goes by fast for you and you have fun doing what you do and everything goes great for you. Okay? Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that like button so that way you guys can get all the notifications needed for this 2024 NFL season. We're going to have postseason content. We're going to have more guests. I'm working out some stuff right now where we're going to get some guests on the show. Plus, postseason content. You're not going to want to miss it. There's a lot of good stuff coming. College football. I'm going to have something lined up for college football next week. All right? We're going to do a little bit less of the guarantees because there's going to be some teams out of playoff contention. I'm going to kind of start making things a little bit more quicker. Okay? But college football, we're going to have something because the final polls are coming out very soon. The final bracket's coming out soon. I want to give my college football playoff predictions, so you don't want to miss that. All right? You can also follow me at Loungetime Pod on X. Hey, if you want to talk about something that you want me to talk about on the show, tweet me. I will talk about it. All right? Plus, I post Thursday night picks, except for this week. We're not doing Thursday night picks because I wanted to do a Thanksgiving episode for you guys. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Loungetime. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving with you and your family. And from me to you, have a wonderful Thanksgiving from the Loungetime family. And I will see you guys next week, possibly next Friday. Could be on the road doing it. We're going to see how it works out. But I'll see you guys next Friday on the next episode of Loungetime. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend to you and your families, everyone.